Welcome back to our Venn diagram and welcome back to the recording project. If you've been following along, you already know what this is. I've been breaking down the song Miserlou, re-recording each of the tracks as practice because I'm learning how to record, comparing methods, and then assessing results essentially. So for this song, we've got our guitar, we've got our bass, we've got our drums, and we even have our piano. So now it's time to do some kind of EQ work and see if I can make it sound a little bit better. Now, remember, this is practice and not perfection. So let's see how we do. When doing my initial research about how to understand and think about EQ, holy moly, a mountain of information. Complete voids that you can get lost in. I needed something simple and easy to understand. So I came across some folks on YouTube who do it by sound association. Now, this is something I can understand, but I'd like to approach it from a beginner's perspective.
Everyone, please leave the train. Thank you for riding with MTA New York City Transit.
Hearing a certain detail and then determining what exact frequency it is, like that's some like higher level stuff that I need to still train my ear how to do, but I don't think it'll be lost on me. Practice makes perfection. Goal here is to learn something about EQing. The method of what we're going to do today is essentially I'm going to set the levels on all the tracks. Then I'm going to EQ each one of those tracks. Then I'm going to set the levels again, and then we're going to call it a day and do the comparison. First, what I'll do is I'll set the levels to a place where everything is similar. Then I'll start to walk through each of the instrument tracks, isolating and listening back with everything. Oh yes, I should say, I downloaded a free EQ plugin from ZL Audio, which is an open source group that is offering their tools and plugins for free via GitHub. I decided to go with their EQ plugin because I saw some nice demonstrations of it out on the internet and it seemed pretty easy to use. Do we really want to be paying licensing fees if we don't have to? I don't.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
I started with the overhead. The cymbal was a little too shimmery for my liking, so I wanted to find that frequency and cut it down a little. After doing some sweeping and searching, I went for a cut at about 8300 kilohertz, which is that stabbing sound that almost kind of hurts my ear, like a severe S sound. I felt was kind of unpleasant. Also, I did a cut at about 1600 kilohertz to reduce the shimmery airiness that I was detecting overall. Let's see how it works. With the side drum, I immediately went for just under 20K to get rid of that stabbing sound a little bit again, and I cut there. Then I went a little wider around 4300 and cut feeling like I could reduce the overall piercing brightness of the cymbals. And then lastly, I went wide and lifted just above the 200 range, what is typically called muddy or talking with your mouth closed. For the kick drum, I did a small wide cut at about 3400 to see if I could reduce that sort of scissors cutting paper sound that the kick drum was emitting. What I was picking up in my ears was a sound that was similar to like a violent tapping on a microphone with your fingers. And I thought in the moment to try and reduce that, but that was the only thing I did here. Okay, quick confession here. This is Jessica editing. There was a point as I was doing these moves where I was wondering if I was making any difference at all. It felt like there was times when I could hear differences and times when I couldn't hear differences. So I just decided to trust what I was doing and keep going. Moving on. While doing these first videos, I did do some EQing for the guitar video. However, I got rid of that altogether as I was flying a little too blind. We're doing each track from scratch. I didn't really notice the goosey, honky quality of it until I was sweeping around. I cut around 600 with the guitar to see how that would work out. I didn't feel like I could really do much else with this track in particular. I'm so used to playing guitar myself. It seems backwards, but I think I had the most difficulty with this track in particular. And moving on to bass, I cut the bass at just under 400 as I felt like it was a little bit too muddy. And then again, I cut a little bit around 120 as I felt like the bass was a little too bassy. I kind of feel like I just said the circle is too round, but we'll see how it turns out. For the piano, I tried to not think too much about it, but I did a cut at around 120 here as it felt like there was an airy bassiness to the keys, which would make sense as this was the take that I did with the piano top closed, with the sound pushing through those piano air vents. I don't think I could really do anything else with this one. I guess we'll just see what the results are. And so the last thing that I did here is I set the levels once more, and we are ready to react and compare. What would you have done differently with these tracks? Tell me about it in the comments. Okay, stop. I think I ruined it. Dudes, I think I ruined it. Guys, I think I made it worse. I'm really struggling right now with this. We'll keep going. Okay, let's go. Okay, gonna stop. Okay, so definitely I can hear the difference in what I did with the cymbals. A lot of that airiness is gone. I almost feel like I did it too much. Maybe I was a bit too dramatic on the cut there, I guess, or maybe I just hit the wrong frequency. I don't think it's actually an improvement. I feel like something maybe got lost there, but maybe that's the live performance person inside of me. Okay, moving on. Okay, and right there. Definitely with the guitar, I can hear how that honkiness, boxiness has been taken down. But then again, I feel like something's missing there, like it should have been kept. I mean, keep in mind, my Stratocaster has Jason Lawler Dirty Blonde setup in it, which is supposed to kind of give it that garage rocky retro 50s 60s guitar sound, and it does that. That setup does that really well, and I feel like something got lost in the cut that I did there, even though it makes the guitar sound a little bit cleaner. It just kind of feels muted. There's something about it that's muted now. Maybe just a bad choice. Maybe something I could have done better there in terms of where I could EQ, or maybe not EQ it at all. That might be an option. I'm sure. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna let this play. I feel like There are parts that I like and parts I don't like of each. Okay, we're gonna stop on that first round of piano. I do feel like there was an airiness or something that was taken away from the piano, which I do actually think is an improvement. But where that piano is in the song, it's so subtle. I'm not sure if it made a difference. But I suppose maybe in these situations, it's the sum of a lot of small choices that really can ultimately make something great. I know I've talked about this before. I'm just gonna have to keep on doing it. I'm just gonna have to keep on recording and EQing, or keep on recording and try and get the best results. Let's hear the rest of this. Mixed? No mix. All right, we're gonna finish that. Let's wrap this up and talk about what I've learned here. And for this time around, we've got a couple of my contemporary favorites, Magdalena Bay. They're gonna help us do the ratings. I chose them because they basically are DIYers that I admire. Okay, so this is gonna be quick. So the version that has no tinkering, no EQing at all, for my first attempt, putting that all together, despite all its warts and zits and errors, I'm gonna give it an it's okay because it is like a first attempt. And for the version that has EQ, I'm gonna give it a halfway between it's okay and a disapproval.
What is
just
the meaning
because
of this?
I already think I can do better. But the effort was decent, I think. You can't learn everything in a day. What do they say? Something like execution is king, so I'll just keep on going. It was immediately clear to me that in order to get the best sound, you have to input the best sound in the first place. So you can spend less time doing enhancements or cuts in your mix. Or perhaps input your sound in a way that's going to give you control later on in the process. For all my film, television, and animation folks, you know you can't always fix it in post. You can't polish a turd. Garbage in, garbage out. A wise man once said, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. And that's just about it. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so very much. And let me know how you think I did for my first time around trying to EQ some tracks. We'll definitely be moving forward and doing more. And lastly, here are the MVPs of this video. I thank you very much. Have a good one.
Could do what the real point of this is, and we could try and make sparkly poop. Now.